What?
He's serious that Trump is our hero, is his comment.
Okay, so if he's really being serious, I think he's still triggering because I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He may just be that duped and foolish and deluded. It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't be the first time, probably not the last time. He has a pattern of that behavior. He also has a pattern of projecting and gaslighting others to appear to be delusional as he is. So it wouldn't surprise me, you know. He would idolize another man because he has such low self-esteem, self-worth, and self-respect that he would think another man's going to save him from himself. I mean, he did lose his father at 16, so he's got daddy issues. Bing 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 bing. Get a Republitard that doesn't have daddy issues. I'll wait. You want to do a study on psychology? Get all your Republitards together and let's see how many of them don't have subconscious daddy issues. Daddy was a tyrant. Daddy didn't love me. Daddy abandoned me either directly or indirectly because death at 16 is an abandonment scenario. It's just not willful. Okay? So you folks got daddy issues, you got fear of loss issues, and you got abandonment issues. And my father, this is the kicker, is a graduate of psychology with honors. You can't make this up. Graduate with honors of psychology, summa cum laude, has no awareness of self and his sub-psychology. Can't make it up. Won't observe himself objectively, won't do the analysis, won't come to the reconciliation and resolution, continues to lose power daily in himself and in his life, and projects onto others and tries to be cute while he does cognitive dissonance. He knows Trump can't save him, but it's all he has at this point because he doesn't have himself and the truth truly. It's a shame what you folks will do to yourselves and others. It's even more of a shame what you'll project onto others to avoid doing the work with yourself. Get a clue, please. Sometime this fucking century. You're not long for this world, all you people. Okay? You're getting long in the tooth here. You got a family history of like heart attack, cancer, and all the rest of it. Pull your head out of your ass and let's get to something before you leave up out of here. Or I leave up out of here. Nothing's promised. I may go before everyone. Boy, would that be poetic justice. Then you'll have to sit with everything I've said and done and what you've not done or understood. And you'll have to make sense of it and reconcile it or ignore it again in your arrogance and continue in your failed processing. Your thoughts, expert panel? I'm a good writer. Wow, great. That and $1 will get you on the bus tomorrow. Your
I,
thoughts?
I think most of this is people that are fearful. Sometimes they lie to themselves, claiming they're not
Cowardly,
fearful.
sir. Really make it hit home. Cowardly, please, if you will.
Cowardly, yes,
Right.
that's the right word.
We're
Cowardly.
all fearful. We're all fearful. Some of us go past it. Some of us succumb to it. So that's the difference between bravery and cowardice. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I struggle to say it as well as you've said it. So I just think if part of this gets back to that good old fashioned look at the dude in the mirror. Make eye contact with the dude in the mirror. If you're honest with yourself first, you could start making progress. Admit where your knowledge is lacking. Look at that guy in the mirror and find out I don't really know what's going on. I've got to do some homework.
Yeah, just keep going. I'm going to look at myself in the mirror. I'm taking your suggestion while you continue. So just go ahead, go around and continue while I do some mirror therapy. I have no problem looking at myself nowadays. Wasn't always that way.
Yeah, and that's the reminder for myself and all of us is it the responsibility comes to us first. If I can't feed myself, if I can't feed my family, I'm doing something wrong. And we got to look at ourselves and figure out where to go from there or here. So
Is Jack Talcott here? I'm 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 feeling like Jack Talcott could contribute to this conversation. Uh, I don't know. Your thoughts, Wizard Creature, others, before we move back to the Elon, Andy Taint, Alex Jones special panel conversation to really get down
Nope.
to the truth?
I just wanted to let everybody know The Man in the Glass is one of my favorite poems.
And I may or may not be familiar with that. Would you like to
That's what he
recite
was.
it for us?
Well, that's what Eric was referencing. It's only the man that can see himself in the mirror that can see his own value. Otherwise, you live your entire life based upon everybody else's values. Is the basic simple thing of it is. The real value again comes from the man that's in the fight, the one that looks himself in the mirror and knows him for who he himself is. No one else.
So Hank sees value in me. Not only do I see value in me at this time, as I do in everyone, I see the potential in every self because we're all one self. Frank says, "Thank you for educating my buddy I-Fi. Thank you for your contribution, Hank. Value for value. I appreciate that." So that's my version of Super Slave Chat. I've taken back the obligations from YouTube and Google. They couldn't handle it, seemingly. So now I run it all myself. It's a great process. Mind your own business. That's what they used to tell us on New York. It's good advice, not only with consciousness and awareness, but when it comes to your value in your life, different forms of value, right? Mind your own business. Okay. Let's get back to Andy and Elon and Alex, our truth or heroes of the day.
Elon Musk has broken their back.
Yeah. Well, I guess some people are afraid to die, but I am not.
And you know what? It's kind of crazy because I was talking to someone the other day and I was explaining, they were asking about my seizure, how they took all my houses, all my money, all my cars, blah, blah. And I said, you never truly own anything on this earth anyway. You can have a piece of paper that says you own it, but if you piss off the government structures, they just get a judge to stamp a different piece of paper and you no longer own it. The only thing you own is your soul and your integrity. And this is the one thing they cannot take away from you, no matter what they do to you. And that is the best feeling on earth. It doesn't matter if you can sell your soul to the devil and repeat what they want you to say, but then you truly own nothing. And
Yeah,
I think
I
that as history books look back on this pivotal moment when X was finally freed and the information of the world could finally be spoken freely, I really do believe we're on the right side of history. And if you were to ask me if there's anything worth dying for, it would be for the freedom of humanity and to be on the right side of history. So I agree with you absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just generally in favor of civilization and the furtherance of civilization. And I think we should always be concerned that we can regress as a civilization. And if you study history, you can just see the arc of one civilization after another as the civilizations rise and fall through history. We've been in a period of civilization rising very rapidly, but we should be concerned that we may be cresting, we may subside, and there are many times where I get late stage civilization vibes, and I'm just worried that maybe we're cresting as a civilization and perhaps headed for a fall. So yeah.
Well, I agree with you because I truly believe, and a lot of people have said this before me, this is not an original idea, but I think as AI and machines and tech increases, a lot of people are going to be deemed useless by the overlords. And then you have to sit and decide, what are they going to do with all these people who have hopes and dreams and they want healthcare and they want a garden and they want a house to live in and they don't want to be treated like cattle? They're going to become extremely inconvenient. So I don't think many people at home understand that this war cannot be avoided. I've had a lot of people who understand why they threw me in jail in Romania and understood I've done nothing wrong. And they said to me, why do you take up this fight? Why you don't just delete your Twitter and disappear and drive a Ferrari all day? And I explained that this war cannot be avoided. You're either on the front line and you're fighting for something, or you're sitting waiting to die. You're waiting for the Mongol horde to come over the horizon and chop your head off.
No, I totally agree.
Out of it.
And just to throw this in there, if you read, and Elon, I knew you were doing great work. When I saw you 6 months ago at the World Government Summit, where they're all just saying we're going to make everybody eat bugs and we'll make the decisions to put microchips in them. And you said, we don't want a centralized system. We want a diverse system. We want firewalls. And I don't agree with this Tower of Babel you're building. They know that we go through cycles, and they want to artificially create a great reset collapse, in their own words, to make everybody else poor, consolidate power, and they'll have a smaller type 2 civilization for themselves. And I think you're trying to build a type 2 civilization, or even a type 1 civilization, I should say, for all of us. And,
right.
And you said we need to have a debate about we need to have a debate about going interstellar. We've got to expand or we collapse. And Elon Musk is saying, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't stay in stasis. You either expand or you collapse. They're
Yes, exactly.
creating.
You either grow or you collapse. You don't. The steady state is basically an impossibility. So you have to pick it. You have to make a choice. Do you want to grow civilization, or do you want to decline and collapse? And because steady state is not stable. So, and I say we grow, and I say we expand, and we have more humans, and we become a multi-planet species and a spacefaring civilization, and ultimately be out there among the stars. And I think that is the exciting, inspiring thing for the future, not a declining human civilization that dwindles to nothingness and where humanity dies with a whimper.
And that's the bottom line. I think it is the battle of people who believe in humans and humanity and want it to expand against people who are so selfishly going through the earth and so selfishly orientated that they don't care about expanding civilization. They just want to control the humans that are currently here.
And Andrew, I totally agree with you.
And an arrogance.
I totally agree. But let me throw this caveat on it, because I've read the writings of Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab and the Club of Rome. They know we could easily expand. There's plenty of room, hundreds of billions of known galaxies. They know that this is just a seed that's going to not just grow into one giant oak, but an entire forest, an entire universe. And so they want to shut everybody else down because they can't deal with the competition of the Elon Musk that come out of the general public.
So even on their panels, there's interference and noises. So
get your shit together, fellas.
Yeah, I guess I can't be mad at you guys when you do.
Let's interrupt them right there. Are any of you guys buying any of this bullshit? I'm just curious.
Not necessarily. I mean, I just, again, it's a little too coincidental and convenient for Uncle Paulie. I'm that guy at the family dinner.
Here's one of my pet peeves, by the way. This is what really bothers me. Every time I hear people like this talk about how like colonizing Mars is the solution to humanity, like that's going to solve our problems. You know, that's what's missing from the world is us building a moon base on Mars or something, you know?
Yeah. Trump's Space Force is going to be the answer to all this. I'm waiting on it.
I love how they don't even pretend like he's talking about our solar system anymore. He's already talking about the billions of other galaxies we're going to colonize, you know, by the end of Elon's life or something, you know.
Yeah, it's a pipe dream. The reality of it is they're going to bring their crap that they've already brought here somewhere else. And it's going to continue there, presuming you can get to there wherever there is, because I have no reason to believe we can even leave this thing. I mean, all the evidence from the beginning of time, including what I see when it comes to their rocket scientists, is there's a Van Allen radiation belt, and they've never been able to get beyond it. They claim they have, but we know, you know, the moon situation, that whole deal. I'm not going to get into it, but there's a large amount of evidence to suggest that we're in something here enclosed. There is no out there. We're here. And we got to make the best of whatever this is. And if you think you're going to take the best of a bad lot somewhere else and do better, I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're delusional, and I think you're selling the folks a pipe dream so they can all sit around, keep voting, paying slave tax, and waiting for Elon to build the right rocket to send them to Mars, like you're going, right? Like the majority of you slaves are going with Elon and Andy Tate and Alex Jones to an intergalactic star system. I contend if they open a rocket and you walk in there, they're going to gas you. You know, it's more likely that'll happen. You'll be, you know, packed up, ready to go. You'll file into the rockets and some gas will come out. And then, you know, we'll get the history report 20 years later about what happened.
That or they'll all die on Mars. That or they'll all die on Mars because they forgot, like, shit's dangerous out there. You can run out of food or oxygen really easily.
I'm not going anywhere, bro. I don't trust any of these motherfuckers as far as I could throw them, and I ain't going interstellar with them. You got to.
But we can spend billions of dollars trying, so let's do it, fellas. Let's spend $10 trillion to get to Mars.
Yeah, that's always the bottom line. If it's not a power play, it's a value play. Like I said, you know, power and value. So.
And again, what problems is he solving? Like, look at all the problems we have here on Earth where shit's really easy. So you think like going to Mars is suddenly going to magically make like all of the good and intelligent humans suddenly?
Yeah, no, that I'm for. That I'm for. I'm for sending all of these other people to Mars.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, we should like
my father, Jack Talcott, Donald Trump, all of them. You all get on a rocket and go to Mars, okay?
All of
and
the
you fucking let me know.
socialists and the authoritarians, I will pay for their plane ticket to Mars. I will help
Absolutely.
fund that trip.
That
One-way
I'll
ticket.
see. We're agreeing. We're all agreeing right now to fund for all of these people to get on a rocket and be sent to Mars. I'm totally for that.
I think that would solve 90% of humans' problems. I agree with Elon on that idea. But again, it's these people that like watch Star Trek and who their big heroes like Neil deGrasse Tyson. They think that science is going to like magically solve all of man's problems, and it's technology is what's holding us back. We just don't have enough transporters and replicators, and then everything would be good and smooth. But that's why we have problems. It's technology. Even though we can. Whoa, what the fuck?
That's Neil deGrasse Tyson. That was one of his sound effects.
Yeah. Black Science Man. He's gonna save us. He's our other messiah. Him and Trump together are gonna save us. So,
Right.
And our hero Elon.
And Bill Nye too. Bill Nye is always seen with that other guy.
Bill Nye, the gender confused guy.
I can't wait till Hillary Clinton steps up as Wonder Woman.
Right. What difference does it make how many people died on the way to Mars? What difference? Mrs. Clinton, there's a reported gassing in all the rockets that are being sent to Mars. What difference does it make? And I have to agree. I go, yeah, what difference does it make? If you're already doing slavery and genocide, what's another few million casualties, huh? That's how I like my politics, straightforward like that. Like maybe I'm old school, I just prefer let's go back to monarchy, put Hillary in place forever, and then just get a speech from her like once a day. I get good entertainment. I get to see the slaves really submit and reconcile, and then we can figure out where we're going from there. So I prefer my politics upfront, direct, and dirty, and just the real deal. Just really tell these people we're going to kill them, enslave them, and what difference does it make? So Hillary 2024, and there's about 3 or 4 Hillarys, I understand. So I want to run one of them for next election. If we can do that again, I'm asking for whoever's in charge of that. Okay, let's get back to it. Do you guys want more of this, or should we move on to breaking slave news and cop shooting citizen slaves? Do you want more Elon? Penal wants more Elon.
More Shill News Network.
What now?
Sure, go ahead.
We want more Shill News.
Yeah, you need more Elon.
They want a global tyranny so they can direct it and control it so that they direct the expansion. And we can't let that happen because they literally talk about it in Agenda 21, the official UN plan, a 90% world population reduction. So we need to go with the Elon Musk plan. And that's why I tell people that get upset, they go, Elon Musk is involved in every advancing technology. The global.
Got to be clear, Alex Jones is the same guy who gave us the same rap about Donald Trump. We all just need to go with Donald Trump because we got no other way out. So he's doing it again, but with Elon, the guy who came out in a Baphomet costume. Alex, you're really like leading a lot of us who like watched you or listened to you in the past and at least looked at the information who we agree with you. I'm doing the we now. We are starting to think you're a complete agent and dupe, right? Like either you're like what's his name? Ace Rothstein said at Casino. Either you're in on it or you're too stupid to figure out who's in on it. Either way, I can't have you here. Remember Ace Rothstein told the cowboy? Either you're in on it or you're too stupid. Either way, I can't have you here. You can't honestly believe after you just cried on air for months, like actually bawling tears because you supported Donnie and it was all a fraud. You're going to now do it again with Elon. Well, he's got the plan now, and it's going to Mars and repopulate Interstellar. I really can't believe what I'm experiencing. The more I live in this realm, the more is kind of revealed, and the more I go, this is why I have so many traumatized people who come to me. You can't trust anyone or anything anymore. It seems everybody's on the take. Everybody's in on it, or they're being avatared, or they're too stupid to see what the upshot is. It's really fascinating. That's why Penal Power won't go get a job. He can't trust anybody, can't even leave the house because his 3 biggest heroes of the conspiracy theory truther community are all talking like this, and now Alex Jones and Andy are saying we got to follow Elon into a rocket. Holy shit. This is fascinating. Is this real, man? I'm going to do a Talcott right now. Is any of this even real? Seriously.
Yeah.
You're a
wondering.
twisted motherfucker.
I'm wondering if he's going to be able to make one fast enough to outrun the aliens.
We'll figure it out, motherfucker.
Oh man, this is it. The only thing that would make this panel complete: Andy Tane, Alex Jones, Elon, and Talcott.
I'm gonna go volunteer my time and talents to those who want to reduce the population.
Right. We got to trust Elon and Talcott.
Globalists are pushing that too. Well, technology is like a gun. It's whose hand it's in. And so we need the gun in the people's hands, the gun of expansion, instead of in the globalist hands. And so just because Elon Musk is on the cutting edge of every technology, don't fear the technology like some troglodyte. Fear us not being in control of it. And Elon is saying we need to be an expansion.
Right. Don't fear the Neuralink and the AI that's proliferating and pretty much taking over humanity from within and without. Don't fear the technology like a troglodyte. Fear us not, and by us, Elon being in complete control. Oh yeah. How could some guy who drinks 10 Diet Cokes a night, who has all the power, go wrong, right, Alex? You know, we'll just, I'm sure he's never going to like force the Neuralink or be a part of the lobbyists and the rest of the ad agencies and, the whole chain of title when it comes to power and value. He's not going to cock that, Elon. He's not afraid to die. And we just need to put all the technological power in his hands and people like him. Don't fear it. Neuralink is good for you. AI is good for you. 5D Google headset is good for you.
Human explosion of competition and freedom, not some new dark age with a tiny breakaway civilization that's only working for itself. Sorry, I'm ranting.
No, but you're completely right, because if Elon doesn't push these boundaries, they will push these boundaries. And once they have the sole control and the monopoly over such technologies, it's over for all of us. And I don't think most people understand. It simply is the humanistic view against the death cult view. And there's people in the world who have no interest in growing humanity, no interest in advancing the species as a whole.
No, you're pigeonholing, you're funneling. There's at least 3 groups, okay? And I'll take your 2 for the first premise. There's the pro-human, the anti-human, and then there's the transhuman. Oh, you forgot about that. Those are the people who say don't fear the technology because we're going to turn humans into biological robots, but it's for our own good. It's so we can really rise and expand. Cut it the fuck out. He may not be anti-human, but he's a transhumanist, and that's just as good because he's going to completely be a part of changing the biology of this creation and the human being involved in this creation. You already put a whole bunch of satellites up in the air shooting microwaves at everybody. Who are you kidding? You already are attempting to transform all of our beingness toward a technological bent, as if we don't know historically where that goes. Atlantis, Lemuria, we get the stories of, right? They're all the same. They're all the same creatures with thousands of years, with their same ego and pride and their same ambition to overwrite nature and the biology in some quest for expansionism and greatness. You're foolish.
Their interest is in power and control, and all they want to do is have absolute power over the people that currently exist and their children. And you can talk about all the perverse reasons they want to do those exact things, but it's truly scary. And all the people at home who don't really understand the gravity of this fight, they seem to think it's right wing, left wing, ha ha ha.
Yes, exactly. They're thinking about it the wrong way. It's sorry, I just got a little X here. But you're totally exactly. This right left is it's the wrong way to think about it. It's the sort of the extinctionists versus the pro-humans. And once you see that it's extinctionists versus the pro-humans, then it becomes very clear.
So Elon, when are you going to? I know you got 100 irons in the fire, but when you talk about we need to create a plan B for humanity.
So busy solving all our problems.
It's not a plan B. I mean, I think
an alternate master plan. Because the globalists are control right now. You're trying to wrest control with us, helping. I mean, when are you going to put out your battle plan, or are you already putting it out in pieces?
Battle plan.
No, I mean, what I'm saying is that actually, I think we should expand humanity. Like basically, we should have basically more kids. Population should increase. And become a multi-planet species, and and make life multiplanetary, build a self-sustaining civilization on Mars, and then ultimately, this will be long after I'm dead, probably, but they'll almost certainly. We can go to other star systems and go out there, and I don't know, maybe we'll find some long dead alien civilizations. And I don't think we want to be one of those lame one planet civilizations that never got beyond its home planet. I mean, we gotta, what are the aliens going to think of that?
Yeah, you guys are so lame.
We got to make a good showing. Team Human.
Well,
let's go.
And that would absolutely that would be certainly disappointing. But it's essential, and truthfully, it's so amazing we'd even speak about these things. Only 2 years ago, you couldn't even speak about these subjects, but it's so pertinently obvious to anyone who pays attention, and it is scary. And expansion and humanistic views are certainly the way to progress. And it has to be done. There's no other way. Just like a business, just like you guys said, if you stand still, you die. And it takes a few brave people to break the matrix. You have to break the dam. And I think
that's not true, you fuck slave. See, I'm all over you, right? You don't want me in the room with you because I'm going to pull you back to the archetypal. There's plenty of folks all over this world who live within their means, and they live within the bounds of creation, and they don't seek to override it to have a more convenient and prosperous, ambitious life and lifestyle. So you don't know what you're talking about. All you folks who've ran forward have run off a cliff, metaphorically, metaphysically. And there's still folks who've been living the same way for thousands of years, and they're not wanting of your crap and your bullshit ideologies and your egoic ambitions. They're just happy living within harmony with nature, co-creating, communing, enjoying what this realm has to put forth, and enjoying the opportunity that's meant for them, right? And they're not hardworking people, and they're not like unenlightened and unconscious and unaware. Far from it, many of them. So you can cut this crap out, this technological bent, this egoic bent, this selling us right now that we have to make a decision to go forward with Elon's battle plan when he's stuttering and mumbling, drinking 10 Diet Cokes a night. His brainstem is decaying. He's another tard. Another cokehead tard who can barely get a sentence out without mumbling and stuttering. And this is the great genius we're all gonna. I love it. I love it.
Are you telling me that it's not a good idea to spend $40 billion on a $15 billion company and then tell all your sponsors?
No, we didn't need electric cars. We didn't need fucking satellites in the sky blasting everybody with microwaves.
But what about the Hyperloop? That's been so profitable.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'll argue that we fucking jumped the shark, as they say, when they invented all this shit. We should have stuck with the horse. You should have stuck with the cattle. Should have stuck with growing fucking crops and doing whatever else regular fucking people did for thousands of years, right? These folks all got in some fucking dark room and accessed some space of technology that I believe is always there. They went and got it and brought it back, and it just jumpstarts humanity for what they think is going to be the greatest thing ever that always undoes us. This is the trick of the egoic loop and whatever the shaitan is here.
And don't even get me started on SpaceX. How much profit is that making other than government funding from us taxpayers?
Yeah, and every one of these clowns has to mix 5 plants and herbs together and create some powder to snort it up their nose to go in an alternate realm to talk to the demons that shapeshift to say, build the technology, guys. We're waiting for you to do it. And they claim it's the gods and the angels. No, I think you and Joe Rogan and the rest of you have been duped once again. I think it's one big cosmic play and deception. And I think that there's nothing that necessarily the creator or the creational force didn't already put in us that we have everything we need. You guys went to the next level with all of it, and it's not necessary. Could it be a tool that could work for you potentially? I'll give you that. But not the rest of this shit that I'm seeing. Setting up whole fucking sites where they're going to put people in a tank and inject them with DMT and let them sit there for hours and stop their heart so they can talk to God. No, you're on some whole other type of shit now, right? And this is where you then go into a dystopian Hollywood movie where you got a bunch of slaves in tanks hooked up to some system, being pumped full of some chemical so they can see the God, right? And then they can build its fucking system for them. I'm not buying it. It's a nut. The whole universe is pimping and hoeing. You just don't know it. There's apparently angels and demons in another realm where you take drugs and they tell you to build their technology. And by the time you're halfway through it, you realize, holy shit, it's taking over us. Right. Because they're pimping on you. Because you're a piece of God and you took that fucking plant and you didn't know who and what you were. So they're going to tell you who and what you are. Someone who's going to be a pawn and avatar to build their fucking system to take over a piece of God. Stupid motherfuckers. Silicon Valley and the rest of you. Bunch of neurotic, insecure, weak, cowardly dweebs with no connection to the Holy Spirit. And you keep searching and seeking and clutching for some worldly mechanism that's going to get you to the next level or get you immortality. You're fucking pathetic. You can't even face your own death and understand it's a part of life and it's necessary. Your thoughts, Christos and others? Can't hear you.
No, you can't hear me?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great point. The pimping and hoeing even goes on a metaphysical level. I mean, I guess that should be a given, but I don't know, just you bringing up the whole DMT experiments and the shit that even Alex Jones has talked about. That was a good framing of it for sure. You know, because I've only really heard the whole pimping and hoeing thing spoken about, you know, like within this world, like in worldly terms, but that's totally right that even the quote unquote spirits or beings or whatever are on that same game. It's going on up there as well, as above, so below. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we already got the reports of what these people are up to. They take their fucking drugs, they commune with something else. It's obviously not supernatural because its whole idea is to alter nature to create some worldly, supposedly human device technology that's going to take us all to the next level. And it never works that way. And it's always the psychotic, sociopathic, egoic, ambitious folks who want to get together and figure this shit out. There's nothing to figure out. You better remember who and what you are and stop looking in the world and in these other worlds to figure out you and understand self-knowledge. It's all within you. And you could argue even that world is within you. You take them drugs and go within you into a portal to another world. It's all within you. You're already in the universe. It's within you. You're part of it. You know, what do you think's going to happen when a broken bitch who's meant to be pimped on takes those drugs and goes to the other world with these other beings? Who do you think's going to show up? You think it's going to be Paulie Boy in another universe who's going to try to save a hoe from themselves? No. It's going to be someone who goes, oh, perfect. Another broken bitch like Eon and the rest of them seeking all their life. Unfounded. No understanding of self. Perfect. That's exactly who they want. All of you folks who won't do the real work in the process and long game it with yourself and co-creation with nature, and you want the quick answers. And as soon as you show up in that world and they ascertain energetically, because I've done it all, and they would go, "What'd you see? What'd you see?" Nothing. They won't show themselves to me, right? And I had to take more and more. They won't show themselves to me. That's what I had to conclude. I have my own firsthand experience with DMT and ayahuasca and all the rest of it. And I've done it over and over. And all the other broken bitches and hoes who didn't show up like me, they all saw shit and were told shit. And I couldn't take enough of it for these things to show up to me, to talk to me. And I go, what's wrong with me? Why won't they show up and talk to me? I must not be godly enlightened. No, maybe it's the opposite. They're not going to show up and talk to me because they know I'm looking for them. I didn't go in there to figure out me. I went in there to figure out what was in there, who was in there, what they were doing and saying. And they won't show up. So now I'm a little bit wary of those beings because I showed up with an intention to know who and what you are and to find out. And I wanted the truth. I didn't show up to find out about me. And they won't show themselves. Seems they only show up to folks who don't know who and what they are so they can tell them who and what they are and what they need to do. Very interesting how that dynamic seems to play out in all worlds, on panels, in the netherworld. Seems it's always a predator-prey, power-value exchange scenario, it seems. Just like when they say the Pleiadians show up to save you from yourself, I'm not buying it. Right? I'm not buying it. You call out to them, they show up, and they say, oh, just come with us and believe on us, and you're going to be okay. You're getting pimped on. And they're always going to show up to you in whatever way you understand to get your consent just like your medical system, your legal system, your religious system, just like many of your mates do. They show up with a representative they know is going to get you. They don't show up with who and what they really are and their true intentions. Many of them don't even know their true intentions because they're not completely in touch with themselves in all aspects of self. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Isn't that what they say? What's the reason for that? The subconscious is a motherfucker. Your thoughts, expert panel in general?
I think I've in the past wanted to ask you if you've ever had any of those type of experiences. I'd be curious sometime to hear about your Aya experience.
There wasn't much of anything. I just cried and I just felt more connected to the whole universe. And I just saw the mandala, the wheel within the wheel. And I realized that I have a part to play here and I need to go forward and play that part to whatever the end is. Yeah. I'm telling you, they don't. I sat there sucking on the DMT. You know, the best I got was a woman's hair floating over me. You know, it was the best I ever got for a visual was what appeared to be a woman over me and what would seem to be her hair dangling, the silhouette, right? What I would contend to be the cosmic mother, you could call it, right? But, you know, the rest of this shit that they talk about, no, I haven't had those experiences. You know, my experience seemed to be very worldly and grounded in a sense as far as who and what I need to be and do here as a beingness, right? It was like an unblocking. It was an alignment process. It really just kind of unblocked certain things, made certain things more clear and aligned for me in my beingness, along with other drugs I've done in the past that showed me that I was a spirit having a physical incarnation. I was not the body. I was using the body. So I got everything I needed from that. Hey, maybe everyone else is getting what they need too, but I've heard their anecdotal stories, and it wasn't them talking about consciousness and awareness and beingness. It was them telling them, look at the tech, build it. Look at the tech, build it. You know, I just, and then I get an intuition about everything, right? And it just tells me, something's off. You know, don't even all the time know really what that is. I just go, something's off about this. You know, why the disparity in experiences and understanding? What is the interconnectedness of the seeming difference? Right? I try to find the unifying point in what seems to be chaos or indifference or opposition. Right? So yeah, I don't really know what to make of all of it. And again, it doesn't seem that you're supposed to. Ultimately, we're here now. We have this body. We know that we have certain choices we can make and do and be certain things. And then at the end of it, it's about peace and surrender. What else is there here? What else is here to, you're going to go to fucking Mars now in the universe? Like, we're here. We're now. We have all the power. We have the choice. What the fuck do I need to take something to Mars for to be activated here and now and be part of something and do and be something and get something? Whether that's consciousness, awareness, worldly value and power, whatever is meant for me. You know? So that to me is a surrender in faith. We walk by faith, not by sight. How much more by sight rather than faith could you be than get in a rocket and try to go to another fucking star system to repopulate? Are you kidding me? Again, this is all a subconscious fear of death. Once you get over your fear of death and you truly start to live, you're not interested in running from whatever's meant for you. You're interested in running into whatever's meant for you. Even if that's death, even if that's imprisonment. Imagine the Christed being getting together with clowns of his day and trying to put a rocket together to go to Mars. Are you kidding? You guys are so in your fucking imagination, like Talcott says at this point, that it's like disempowering. You know, you can have a disempowering amount of imagination where you do and be very little here and now. And you're constantly in a metaphysical world that doesn't exactly exist. You can't even explain it. You can't even make it real for us.
Isn't that part of what the masses want? The masses want to be distracted. The masses want to just be entertained. So as they get insane and describe something like Mars and civilizations, the masses just eat that up.
Yeah, they want to be given some modality, some ideology, some mechanism that's going to them away from themselves and others and what we've created here. And it's just not going to happen. A religion, a rocket, a political system, a medical treatment, it's just not going to happen. A drug, because it's really the same idea, people, places, and things. This is their bondage, vice, and addiction, and they can't practice detachment to reunite with higher self, to surrender in faith to their fate and be an active participant in generating that. It's this and that. It's not this or that. The universe is paradoxical. All paradox must be resolved. So if you can't do that, you're off the mark on your idea. Your idea is somewhere out there. It's not right here, right now. You could pull it from there to here right now. I don't contend it's going to be the answer. Max Vision. Let's screen Max Vision. I want to see and hear from him. We're spreading, pounding, and coming together. Spreading awareness, pounding the pavement, and coming together to go to Mars to save us from ourselves and what we've created. Max
Max has
Vision.
been on panel.
Hello?
Hi.
Max Vision, can I see you or hear you?
I don't know. There.
Okay, I trust you already for some reason. Might be my second mistake here.
Yeah, Max is good.
Okay.
Pretty sure he's been on your panel a few times.
I usually know a
we've spoken
miscreant
before.
energetically from the word go, and I'm pretty good at that. Like, I just hear your tone and energy, and I'm like, okay, we're here. So
Thanks.
what do you got for me, Max Vision?
Oh man, you probably already got a fully open pineal. Your intuition seems pretty damn good, man.
It's been said. I like to think that's the case. I don't have much else
I just
here,
thought I'd
so it
comment
wouldn't
on
make
what
sense.
you guys are talking about, because the interconnectedness is something I kind of specialize in. That's what I do on the Friday and Saturday nights. And you guys produce your own DMT. You don't need to take it. You can produce it just through good lifestyle and
Well,
meditation.
there you go.
So it's already being produced in you, right? So if you're taking care of yourself, like, you're going to open your pineal, no problem. You don't need a drug or anything to do that. And that's probably why that drug had almost no effect on you, really. You saw some nice visions and stuff, but you weren't, like, getting information or messages because you didn't need any,
Yeah, I am that am. What do I need to? That's the conclusion, right? Exactly what you just said. I
you've
am that
already
am.
realized it. Yeah. So
That's
there's nothing
exactly.
for you
It's
there.
all about realization. I got to thank Jackie real quick. Jackie says, for happy holy days. She's doing a Talcott there. So thank you, Jackie, for your contribution, value for value. That is very equitous of you and much appreciated. That is a blessing to I. Your thoughts? You were saying, Max Vision?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading comments there for a second.
Yeah, you got to watch
uh,
that. You can get caught up.
Yeah, I know. I'm slow at reading. So, yeah, pineal is pretty much what I practice with. Like, I do a class every Friday and Saturday night. So I got 8 years of practice using the pineal for remote viewing.
Okay, so what do you get out of this remote viewing thing? Because the closest I ever got, I've never actively really tried, but I used to smoke PCP and I left my body and floated around.
You'd be amazed at how close you can get. You can get bang on. Like, yeah.
Okay.
What I do is
tend to believe you.
I run the class for whoever comes to chat. That's who it's for. Ingo Swan said that if you want to become a good remote viewer, practice. So for 8 years, I've offered people a way to practice. And been doing it myself too. Yeah, we hit high percentages sometimes. We're usually at least around 50% hits, which is amazing.
So you can verify this shit. Whatever you go and look at, you then walk to physically and notice it's there.
What I do is I do images and destination targets. So images are just like pictures. So we can absolutely categorically tell, is that what you saw? And then we do destination targets that are sometimes the future, but past events a lot of the times. Restricted areas, things like that. Those are a little less easy to check, and calibrate, but because of
And
the
so you would
nature of
suspect
some
this
of
is
them.
part of the reason why these folks have been studying human beings and putting them on drugs from the beginning of time, it would seem, because they're aware there's an element of human beingness that is omnipotent, omnipresent, so forth and so on. And it makes it a hell of a problem for folks who want to like completely control and dominate. Because, you
Mm-hmm.
know, how do you do battle with someone who can go and see you and know where you are and then go back to themselves? Kind of an issue, right?
Or see your next move. What's your
Security
next
issue,
move,
national
right?
security issue for safety.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly the point. That's why we learn it and practice it. We're trying to predict the
Is it
next.
possible that folks are erecting technology right now to interfere with all these processes so they can make an attempt
Oh,
to
they
control and
can.
dominate the
They already
human race?
have. Already done. Our power of our pineal is a magnetic power. The memory of everything is held in the magnetic fields, and we have magnetosomes, small bacteria that make small crystals that interact with the magnetic fields around us, and those interact with the pineal, and we have visions, right? We see things, we get information, and they've already found a way to either turn it on or turn it off.
Right. And that's why, again, universe is a magical place full of miracle. That's why I've been compelled when I came back here to have her get out of here. She saw it and felt it after a certain point. She's got apparently something coming forth now. She's going to be way better off. Everything starts to come together in synchronicity, but I became highly aware of their technologies and what they're doing. Right. I didn't need to
Yeah.
go study it and listen to everyone else. I practice self-awareness. And through that practice, I'm given everything I need. So I got the upload, the download, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I can feel it physically, biologically, cellularly, like the phone can. I can pick up on the signal and I can infer, if not be shown, what the program is, what the point of it is. And it's pretty obvious, I guess. I mean, I guess that's relative, right, to your consciousness. What's obvious to me, apparently not so obvious to many others. But
Yeah.
it's
Right
to the
now,
point now
they're
where I
doing a
could
lot of
go
work on our
somewhere.
mood.
Go ahead.
They're doing a lot of work right now on our mood.
I'm going to record this. The next time we go to the mountains, I'm going to record. I'm going to put the phone down and I'm going to have her record me so I can't see anything. And I'm going to actively tell her and the audience when the cell phone signal has dropped. Right. And then you tell me that there's no interconnectedness in relationship to this technology and our technology,
Oh, yeah.
physical being.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I got it down to like a quarter of a mile at this point. I go, oh, the cell phone signal just shut off. I go to look at the phone and it's a dead zone. I go, you know, come on.
Yeah.
At some point, you're like, this ain't no coincidence. We're locked in here. We're tied in.
Yeah. I can feel them. When they turn on, they feel like about a 20-pound weight put on my shoulders. Just like the density of the air.
It's a condensation effect, is what I described it to her as. If you leave the city and the suburb, you start to expand and decompress, right? Just like systems dynamics. When you start to get a load on you, you start to feel the compression. Right?
Yep. Exactly.
It's the electrical load being put on the system creates a compression or capacity, whatever the electrical terminology would be. It's a compression effect. Right. It's a densification of the beingness.
Yeah. Positively charged ions being put into the air. Not good for you.
Well, how do you keep a population anxious and depressed, uninspired, disempowered, and with a whole bunch of ailments? Bingo. Right. And if you go out to the middle of nowhere and you get away from all that interference, you start to feel a reunification, sense of self. Is the best way to put it, right? Your sense abilities start to change.
Yep. Bingo. Definitely. Yeah, there are higher and lower days. They seem to know when my class is. So I don't know if they've got AI that.
It's targeted. It seems to be targeted. I can't prove it, but it seems to be targeted. And or they just have certain times a day where they notice tendencies and they ramp it up.
Yeah. I do my class the same time of day, so yeah.
What time do you do your shit?
11. Weekends, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, again, you start to get into a realm here where if you talk like this to the outside viewer, you become a paranoid schizo, and that's okay because we're all going to find out at some point conclusively.
I
The
got
truth always
PubMed
comes to light.
documents that can back me up. So
Yeah, dude, I have the firsthand experience, and that's done me well with everything else. I'm not going to
yeah,
stop trusting it with this.
I always
No
double check
offense to
myself.
everyone else's sensibilities, but
Yeah, I double
I'm
check
pretty much in
my
alignment with
thoughts
it.
with PubMed's got a lot of information on what this shit does to you. It's all public knowledge now. The problem is with the legislation they have, you can't get rid of one of these towers because of the health effects. You can only get rid of it if it's going to affect the property value.
Yeah, that's fine. Again, there's already certain
Yeah.
places, they're deep into this everywhere else. There's certain places they haven't converted. They're probably not going to convert because it's not highly densely populated. They're not going to put the funding in to put all that shit up where there's little to no population.
Yeah.
If they do, well, you move again. The point is you got to be a migratory civilization, just like people were from the beginning of time. And you have to be willing to be up and out if you start to see them bringing in their silent weapons for quiet wars. And if you use your self-awareness that you cultivate, you can feel where is where and what's what. You go, okay, when I go over there, I feel this. When I go here, I feel that. So I'm gonna set up over there and not over here. Pretty
Yep.
simple stuff.
Yeah,
you
you
know.
can
And
go
then if
around
you're gonna
your
work with the
apartment with an
system, you
EMF meter and find the lowest area. That'll help
yeah.
people
I
who
mean,
aren't
dude,
sensitive enough.
you could just go into your phone and go into the status settings and watch the dB go up and down.
There you go. Yeah.
Right. Your phone becomes a tracker for at least their shit because it has to show you the signal it's picking up on. And if you go to one side, I go to one side of the house where this thing is close, and I immediately start to feel the pressure and headache come
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Right. I
Yeah,
move to the
quick-
other side, it becomes about 50%. When I check the signal dB, it's 100x signal from one side to
Yeah,
the
you
other.
can
It's
ground
100 times the
yourself
signal.
out. You can ground yourself out with the negative pole of a battery. For those of you that can't get to a grounding, that'll work.
Okay. So what are you saying? Hold the battery?
Yep, pretty much. I've got one on a loop over my my pants or my belt, right? It grounds me out all the
Okay.
time. I'll show you.
Yeah, you can lay a copper grounded wire across your bed and sleep on it and
Yeah, got that
recharge
too.
during the night.
So it's just a 9-volt battery. You just connect to the
Great.
negative
Now I got to
pole,
wrap a fucking copper wire around myself. I'm already
and
overweight.
then you
Got guns on me.
just
Now I
loop it
got
around
wires.
so it'll hold on your belt, and there you go.
Oh, fuck, man.
Hey Max, it's good to have you here, man. I was just thinking about your streams earlier this morning, and strangely
Thanks,
enough,
Festus.
the whole Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, and then Elon thing, that was going through my mind driving to work, and then seeing that Paul was touching on it, because I was literally just thinking for whatever reason how all these different quote unquote content creators were speaking on it when it initially came out, and then that was like a week or two ago. But yeah, man, y'all got it.
All right. Well, I guess we can. We don't have much time left, but enough time that we could get some breaking slave news in. We can go back to the Elon situation tomorrow, I guess. We can pick up on that. You pretty much
We
got the
remote
gist
viewed
of it.
Elon.
Say what now?
We remote viewed Elon. We do that quite often. We pick politicians and remote view
Wait
them.
a second. You can remote view him, like so you'll see him there masturbating, drinking Diet Coke. It's
No,
kind
we
of
went into their
embarrassing.
mind. We go
Can
into
you
their
never
mind.
remote? Please don't remote view me without my permission.
No, you're not a big public figure at the moment.
And I swear,
so
those
you're
free
safe.
OnlyFans subscriptions, I didn't do those. They're sending them.
Once you're making a buttload of money, we will definitely.
Fucking people are remote viewing me now. That's all. Now I got Axis rat blood over my shoulder. It's
Yeah.
just remote viewing me.
He was surprisingly one of the unhorrifying viewings we've done of famous people.
I'm telling you, if you remote view me, it's not that small. It's that the rest of me is just big. It's a
Okay.
perspective thing, right? So get close when you remote view. It looks bigger. Okay. It's a family broadcast. I don't know what I'm doing here. Destroying all of our credibility we've cultivated with remote viewing and conspiracy theory and World War III and 5G and economic collapse. We were so credible there to the average person, and I just destroyed it. What are you going to do, huh? Melanie.
What are you guys talking about with Elon? His
Oh, we weren't talking anything with him. He's talking with Andy Tate and Alex Jones about how to save the world from itself using rockets and Mars and technology.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go great. I feel. I get that vibe.
Yeah, we remote viewed his future, or what he had planned in his mind for humanity's future, and it looked really nice. Everybody was really happy and stuff. So I have to kind of agree with you.
Everyone is really happy.
Yeah.
The only problem was 95%
which is
of the
really
population
uncommon in
dead.
remote viewing. It's really uncommon.
Yeah. If you remote view, I'm pretty sure there's a heart attack or a stroke in my future. So if we could stay away from that, it's bad marketing, promotion. You know, the remote view Elon, it's fucking good, paradise. Right? Me, it's heart attack from cheese. You know, just my luck, huh?
Taking any experimental medications or anything?
Not yet. You got any?
Should be fine. Should be fine.
All right. Let's refocus here. Get back on task.
Wobbly said he wants to learn how to do remote voyeurism.
Can you not do that all the time? You have a pattern and habit of doing that. We just talked for the last 2 hours. As soon as I go back to breaking slave news, you keep redirecting me to the chat and nonsense. You do it every day.
Yeah, what was that mic?
Stop it. You just let me direct the course of the broadcast, please. I don't want this one to end up like yours. I know you're restreaming to your channel, and that's fine. But I don't want to end up like that. You get what I'm saying? You understand. Okay. I love you, Sean. I know it doesn't always seem like it, but I do. It's just my own way. Right? It's like a Frank Sinatra kind of love. I do it my way. Israel warns a clash with Hezbollah at border of Lebanon, Sean. Okay. So we're like up to 5 or 6 proxy wars now. And the peace talks are happening. Just don't worry. It's all going to settle soon. Peace talks happening. Ceasefires. Just 5 or 6 proxy wars. China now getting into it with the Philippines. You know, you got Russia and Ukraine. And Iran now involved. Along with Yemen, Lebanon, Syria, Israel. No big deal. Nothing to see here, right? I'm sure it'll all clear up soon. But till then, we got to get to this top story.
This morning, as the IDF pummels central Gaza's refugee camps in its war against Hamas, Israel is on the verge of a second front erupting. This one,
well, it's 5 actually.
Lebanon, where there's been a major escalation with Hezbollah, including 30 rockets the Iran-backed militants say they fired yesterday at Israel's northernmost city. Israel's foreign minister touring the Lebanon border, saying all options are on the table. While a member of Israel's war cabinet says the stopwatch for a diplomatic solution is running out. If the world doesn't act, he says, we will. And with the region gripped by tension, new violence overnight in Iraq. A U.S. base in Iraqi Kurdistan targeted by an attack drone. With Israel and the U.S. locked in intense diplomacy over the war's next phase, this morning, 2 Israeli officials tell NBC News that Secretary of State Antony Blinken is headed to Israel in early January for his 5th visit since the war started. The State Department hasn't confirmed his travels. But the U.S. and Israel are publicly at odds over how Gaza should be ruled after the war and what Israel's role.
How it should be ruled? Whoa. Whoa, I think they just kind of let something out there by accident on purpose. How it should be ruled? So they're admitting that the whole point of this is really just to rule over these people? I thought that this was a defensive measure to stop the terrorism. That's what you guys said. I'm confused. I thought this was for democracy, to just stop the terrorists, and now you're saying we're arguing over how these people are going to be ruled after the war. Oh, that's weird. I don't know. Let's hear more.
Truth
I'm not an expert. What?
Truth in plain sight.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they have a reason.
That people can believe in a future, a better future without Hamas. Maybe you can't control what people think, but by removing Hamas from power, it won't have the capabilities to hurt other people.
Israel says it's almost finished clearing Hamas battalions from Gaza's north and invited NBC News in for a first-hand look.
Here in northern Gaza, what we can see
is an utter wasteland of dust and mangled steel, really the only signs of life. IDF troops standing guard. Basil Amakosi is an artist, now a refugee. His work depicting life in Gaza after nearly 3 months of war.
It's kind of like when, I mean, we've seen this before. It's kind of like when Churchill and all the rest of the folks from U.S. Corporation funded and supported Mr. Adolfo, remember him? Good guy, they said. Till the news
I
got
remember
out of what
something
was
about
going
that.
on. And then it was, let's reduce Berlin to rubble and the rest of it, right? So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like the same people are always behind both sides, it seems, saying these people are great people. Give them funding and weaponry. Oh my God, they did bad stuff. Now we have to bomb the people who live in these areas. What is that about? And then they just tell you outright, oh, this is really just about ruling everyone after we bomb the shit out of you. Great. So you pretty much just told on yourselves once again. That's why you make what I do so easy, because I just play what you guys say over the course of weeks and months, and you always reveal subconsciously who and what you are. It works with panelists. It works with news organizations. It works with everything. It works with God too. And the rest of this, you just play a long enough game, you're going to watch everyone convict themselves, indict themselves, show their subconscious motive and intention, all while gaslighting you and projecting and bullshitting a different outcome. Fascinating game. I love the game.
They got a canal to build, you know. So.
Oh well, what? Yeah, it goes up your backside.
Yeah, they want to build a canal across Gaza, but those Gazans are in the way.
Well, what's the canal for, sir?
Well, they can get from the Red Sea. It's a new way to get a.
Oh, like trade routes.
Across,
so like trade wars.
Up to the Atlantic there. Yeah, I did a show on it on the weekend. They've got a map for it and everything.
Did you just jump the space-time continuum? I'm pretty sure you just. I heard something just happened there. You sped up. You slowed down.
Oh, yeah. I tend to have that effect. Yeah, so they're supposed to be building a canal, if nobody heard that. So it's to get from the Red Sea out to the Atlantic there. And they'll make billions off of it.
So Netanyahu is a canal pal, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it'll replace the Panama. Is it the Panama? Or the...
a bunch of canal pals. I'll accept that.
Suez.
Yeah. Suez, yeah.
We're a people who deserve to live and have our rights, he says. I am
no, you don't. That's the thing. I don't think he understands it. That guy doesn't get it.
And Laura, just this morning,
they
Israel
don't
has
consider
announced
you
the
people,
number of Israeli troops who have died in this war has surpassed 500. That includes more than 300 troops who died in the terror attacks of October 7th.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Remember the Finlandian, what they called the butterball boy? I didn't call him that. I think that was rather mean. But they called him that. And Finlandian boy says, well, we don't need guns and weapons. We just have like Molotov cocktails. You know, like he's comfortable with that, living in a world where all his agents and masters have all the guns and he doesn't. He thinks that's safe. While they just do like World War expansionism, conquest, slavery, and genocide. And he just thinks it's dandy, right? We don't need guns. We don't need any of it. Just hang out in the forest with gasoline bottles when it gets crazy. Okay. Let's continue on. Wow. We're continuing on with the same thing. Terrorist rockets strike Israel cities. We just heard that, so I'm not going to play that. Iran is already at war with Israel. Oh, wow. Okay. So let's hear about that. Experts. The expert.
Listen to this. Experts are warning of Iran's intentions as Tehran-backed fighters target U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria and attack ships in the Red Sea.
One expert telling the New York Post, quote, "We are pretending we're not at war, but the Iranians and the Houthis are at war with us. This is all part of a greater Iranian plan to defeat the United States, to get the U.S. to abandon the Middle East so it could spread the Iranian Islamic Revolution in Iraq and Syria, in Lebanon, to defeat Israel."
Where's Sean Hannity when you need him, the real patriot?
Marine bomb tech.
He breaks down for us.
Now. Double J, great to see you as always. Is the Biden administration in denial over Iran's true intentions? I think we know the answer to that. And if so, why? Why can't they confront the reality that we all see?
You know, I'm going to punt this a little bit. Ask Lindsey Graham.
Did you hear how he said that in such a leading, convincing way, right? The reality we all see. Why can't they just get it, huh? There's your Republicards, conservatarians, warmongering again.
Oh, well, let me show it.
Telling us we have to like destroy Iran because if not, they're going to spread their ideology. Someone's mumbling.
Oh, there's the map of the proposed canal. If you want to look at it, it's in private chat and in comments.
Okay. Is it possible they're doing that? They're spreading their democracy and ideology and corporate fascism everywhere, and they can't have people who are aligned, even if it's with a false religion, to some force that makes it more important than their worldly endeavors. Is it possible that's what we have going on here? They got to get rid of all the religious folks. They got to get rid of all the tribal folks, like they do worldwide. The indigenous folks, they got to like have them reined in and dominated and controlled and governed. What did the man say? Ruled, right? That was a good word. All the tribalists and religious folks have to be under one rule, one idea. It's a big idea. New World Order. Suez Canal, Israeli Canal plan. Okay. I mean, that's far from conclusive. Are you like related to Snafu Snaps at all? Because this is far from conclusive evidence. Pretty much just a map with somebody drawing lines over it and claiming that's where stuff is going to be. I'm not denying it. I'm just saying it doesn't really prove it.
I'll give you an article on it then.
Yeah, that'll work, I guess, depending on the source, because it's really important. Did it come from Fox Noise or MSLSD or CNBS? It has to be from official sources, or most of the regular people won't believe it.
Reddit? You want Reddit?
I don't know. Is that a trusted source? I need one of my counsel to.
Let's see. Pick one. What's
pretty much anything with one eye symbolism we'll trust.
Isn't it amazing? All it takes is a couple years for everyone to forget the Amazon rainforest burning down at the same time that Amazon was becoming an empire, essentially.
I don't know. I'll give you Reddit. There's tons of articles on it.
All right. I believe it. I accept it. I got more to trust than just the canal they want to build. I'm seeing and thinking bigger here, but I'll accept that claim that that's part of the gig is trade wars.
It's easy. You can
wars,
just do a Google
wars.
search on it. That's how I got the map. It's one of many.
All right. Pro-Palestinian protesters block traffic at LAX. So this is good. If they really get this done, they'll create like World War actually, and then like tie in Civil War and get all the political hacks and frauds to get the citizen slaves to war each other locally, right? Really create like a shakeup in national and worldwide security. You know, it's always good to like Rahm Emanuel said, you never really want to let a crisis go to waste. And Hillary said, you always want to use these kind of times to get as much done as possible. So this is really good is what it is. I know it looks chaotic and scary. Looks like certain nations are tearing each other apart from the middle. But it's a great time to get things done. That's what you have to remember. All right, let's go to that. LAX slaves losing their mind.
Aircraft traffic safe down there. Mike at the controls this morning at the tiller, moving us around the best we can. So now we're starting to see a little bit more of that roadway. We're going to see if we can find where that group was. Right there, you can see some of that LAPD. We did hear that they are on tactical alert, as Gigi mentioned.
And they're supporting Hamas.
Officers making their way over here.
You got some domestic terrorists, it looks like.
They're all going to be on foot, making their way down there. They're trying to take that last group into custody. LAPD, you can see them on the move, and they have their doors open, keeping an eye on where they might be. The last location I heard was possibly...
These fucking people are
right
disgusting.
there. So we're going to keep an eye out. out, see what we can do. But as far as
What are they going to
traffic
use
for
this to
LAX this
distract
morning,
us from?
it's going to be very difficult. The main
Maybe
entrance on the
January
Century
1st,
still
the release
closed.
of
LAX
the
PD
fake
suggesting
We
bunch of
can't hear
news
you,
they're going to
Max.
give us for
meaning
Epstein.
You can't
Sepulveda
talk over the
Boulevard is
clip. We
probably going to
can't
be
hear
your
you.
best bet. You can make your way over to
Oh,
Sepulveda,
okay.
Arvida, and then Airport Way. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, Stu, thank you. Let's get over to Gigi now. She's on the ground to talk to us more about what's going on. Gigi.
Well, definitely the entrance to LAX and the exit. Take a look at the traffic has been blocked. We've been speaking to some frustrated shuttle drivers who are trying to get folks to their flight. They're also trying to pick up people, both from the shuttle companies, the different parking lots,
Yeah, we
and
need
the
National Guard or
hotels.
like
And they
UN
tell
troops
us that they
deployed
just
immediately to
couldn't get
restore order
into
and
the
safety.
airport
This is
because
crazy.
of this Free
They're supporting
Palestine
Palestine and
protest
Hamas.
this morning. Now, as
They're
Stu
out there
mentioned,
flag
the
waving,
LAPD has declared a
disrupting the flow of
tactical alert,
traffic.
which allows them to bring in
And
additional
continue.
units. And also, no one goes home until this situation is resolved. The protesters were last running towards 98. They were
Spray them
also
down,
running
man.
through parking
Spray
lots,
LA
and they
down
are
completely.
subject to arrest now at this
Get Billy
point
Gates out
because
there in
it's
one of
gone
those
on
planes
so
and really
long.
spray it
They're
down.
subjected to arrest
Give
on
these people some
riot
treatment.
charges, and also apparently there was a scuffle between
Yeah,
protesters
they got shit. They
and
can drop you in
LAPD
the streets, no problem.
airport police officers, because they're also down there on the scene, and now they're going to be charged with attack on a peace officer. So the
Oh, yeah.
situation very
This is
violent.
like January
At
6th
one
all
point,
over
we're
again,
told the
people.
protesters were collecting.
Holy shit, Max. This is the worst event in human history, pretty much, because it's the one I'm looking at right now.
It's
And
over.
yeah, you know what? This is like almost maybe even this is like as bad, maybe worse. I don't know, because they have to tell me what to feel about it as January 6th, right? This is like
The
scary.
Holocaust.
Pretty much. You got folks running the streets in black uniforms. They're mercenaries. They're supporting Hamas in Palestine. They're flag waving. They're cutting off traffic. What are we going to do, Max?
In Canada, you call in 3 waves of police.
Yeah, you have no answers. This is why you're not a hero and a frontliner and expert. These people will have answers, and I will support them implicitly. They know what's best. That's what I've learned. This is a radical far left effort to keep Trump off the ballot. Oh, man, Daddy can't
You
play.
first got this case.
Fox Noise is
He
really
said that
fucking
state
upset
law
lately
doesn't give
about all this
election
shit.
officials any leeway to police the eligibility of presidential primary candidates. He also said that the case raised a political
Talking
question that
Points says
shouldn't be
Daddy can't
decided in
play.
the
Talking
courts.
Points is upset about
Why
this.
wasn't this the case
Talking
in
Points
Colorado?
wishes Daddy could play. Talking Points believes if Daddy
Julie,
did play and won,
Colorado's
it
a
would get
different
better.
dynamic. The state actually does have a provision that requires to certify through the candidate that they are eligible to run. It's nuanced, but it still shouldn't have mattered.
Talking Point
because
says my dad can beat up
you're
your dad.
applying the Constitution.
Are
the
you
14th
distracted enough?
And the
Next,
reality
please.
is you don't even get to that question. I'm waiting for the Supreme Court to actually be the adult in the room, come in and say, hey,
Please
all
do
of
that.
you that are clamoring and
That's the thing.
I
Max.
thought Pioneer.
I can
I thought
talk
that was
over the
Pioneer.
clips. Yeah, I can talk over the clips because I have an amazing microphone. Not only do I have an amazing wife, amazing child, I have an amazing microphone. Okay. I'm doing a Donnie Trump there. So I can talk over clips because I can be heard over everyone and everything. I did that on purpose. It's important that I be heard. Few else. But if you can work with that, we can get somewhere here. Because I kind of enjoyed our conversation before about remote viewing. I'm not trying to be rude, but only I get to talk over clips, pretty much no one else. Once in a while, if you want to talk, you got to really pipe up, though.
Gotcha.
And I'll stop the clip. Like, if you really holler out and I feel it in you, I'll stop the clip. I'll let you just take it. Like, Wizard's good for that. He'll just start screaming and yelling and cursing, and then I stop the clip and I let him take over for a little bit.
Oh, that's literally nothing for me to do. Appreciate it. No problem.
He said that so peacefully, too. He's so loving and peaceful with his declaration of war. All right. Yeah, they're trying to keep Daddy off the ballot. We can't let this happen, people.
stretching the law in ways that it's not meant to be. Here's what this provision means.
Mhm.
It was articulated to prevent officers.
I'm writing in Jack
of the
Talcott on the
Civil
ballot.
War from
Nobody's going
running
to convince
for
me any
office
different.
when they led the insurrection against the United States. I mean, that's plain and simple. It's never been applied in the manner that it is now. And it's a radical effort from the left to keep Donald Trump off the ballot box.
The Colorado Supreme Court's decision, as you know, to kick Trump off its primary ballot has been paused pending an appeal. So with these two decisions, you know, in Colorado and now most recently in Michigan, the expected appeals to the U.S. Supreme Court becomes even more critical, especially with the nation's 2024 primaries around the corner. So what say you as far as the timeliness of all of this? Does the Supreme Court come out with a decision sooner than later? Will we be getting that word sometime this week? Because a decision needs to be made, especially with the primaries.
All right, whatever.
Yeah,
No one
Julie, you hit
cares.
it.
Let's be honest. It's all fucking nonsense. All stage show. Optics. NWO optics minus Hulk Hogan, like Snafu says. This is all WWE wrestling at this point, from top to bottom. Oh, this is good. Let's get some more entertainment. Biden administration planned to keep the Chinese spy balloons a secret. Right. So we all looked up and saw a huge balloon above us, and you were going to keep that a secret? This can't be real. Seriously. All right, let me out. Let me out. I think I'm there. I think I just with that one news story, I got whatever I needed to end the simulation. Just go ahead and let me out. Unplug me, because you can't make this shit up. I'm telling you, Fox Noise is pissed this week. Okay, from the fucking Donnie not being able to play, to why won't we just go all out war with the Muslim nations, to they're going to keep the balloons a secret. And as if anyone believes that was a Chinese spy balloon when they got TikTok and all the rest of it in your pocket, watching and listening to everyone. Right? But they need to send a fucking big white balloon over the nation. You can't make this shit up, Christos. I'm telling you, this is great entertainment for me. You know, great comedy entertainment, watching and listening to what the average slave will take into themselves and believe, and then argue with me about. It's fascinating.
All right, tensions growing for
Tensions
the
growing.
U.S. as forces in the Mideast, the Houthi militants, have been targeting more cargo ships as recently as yesterday, as an Iranian commander now reportedly threatening to shut the Mediterranean
That's not
Sea
that.
down.
No, that's the Iranian
comes
Elon. He's on his way to Mars.
More
They're not
than
launching missiles.
100 U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria have been attacked by Iranian-backed militias.
There's Elon
Fox
Murr.
News
There's Elon Musk and Elon Murr. Elon Murr is from Iran, and he's trying to fly to Mars on a rocket. And you're claiming he's doing war. See?
contributor and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo joins us now. Mr. Secretary, great to have you on the program. You know, I'm curious, from the beginning of the war between Israel and Hamas, we have talked about this war metastasizing, growing into something bigger. Nation-state conflicts, including Iran, perhaps others like Hezbollah. It seems to have done so, but only sort of through proxy behind
What the hell?
Has
This
that
is
gone?
supposed to be about the Chinese spy balloon.
That commercial ships won't travel through there. All
says it right there.
The American public, the existence of the spy balloon.
There it is.
There just seems to be more to this story than we understand. You know,
Way
as I
more.
look at this and I try to analyze why would they have taken this approach, you know, it's either, yes, they did want to study it, and that's why they were going to let it fly, and they had some ability to limit the amount of intel it could gather, or they were just highly embarrassed by the entire situation and wanted to hide it in that way. I just can't figure
All right, Talflex or somebody, could you do me a favor here? This is what I need done. I want it all revealed. Could you go ahead and release the actual footage of the what's called the spy balloon? Because I'm going to go ahead and cop to it. We actually released that balloon to do some type of advanced marketing and promotions, and it worked, but we never got credit for it. So go ahead, release the actual footage. When they zoom in, you'll see it says proper instruction motivates people. We released the balloon. It's not a spy balloon. I hate to break it to you people. You got no reason to be scared.
why they would have chosen the path they chose. Is there an explanation that we haven't yet discussed on the way this went down with the spy balloon?
Well, there are certainly things that happen that for a moment intelligence agencies and American intelligence agencies rightfully ought not to share with the American.
You can kind of see it. You can kind of make it out
keep
there.
them safe.
If you zoom in more,
This
yeah,
certainly
see,
couldn't
there's
become one
writing.
of them when we had.
You got to
live
get real
pictures of
close
it.
on it.
Moreover, my sense here is that the reason
No,
that
you gotta
they
get
didn't want to
closer than
disclose
that.
this wasn't for intelligence
Really
collection. You'll
close.
recall their first story is this wasn't on the United States. This was just a lost weather balloon. And then the story was that this happened in the Trump administration. The story keeps varying. My guess is that in the end, they made the decision not to share with the American people out of sheer embarrassment that they had permitted this very dangerous activity to take place over the American homeland.
It wasn't that
That's
dangerous,
never
man. It was
a
just a
reason
balloon.
to share information with the American people. I don't know if this story is true. But we remember they allowed a Chinese spy balloon to fly over our country for 5 days and did nothing. And frankly, now we are months and months and months later. They've still done nothing about this. They've never even brought this up to Xi Jinping, saying this is unacceptable to violate American sovereignty in that way.
All right, Mike Pompeo, thank you so much for being with
I remember that balloon. I was scared. I was scared.
Never forget, Eric Nellis, the balloon event. Okay. Many of us who were born after 2001, this is our 9/11. Okay. The balloon incident. So let's never forget. I want bumper stickers made up immediately, the whole deal. I need a campaign on this. And could you believe this guy was going to try to keep that secret from us? And the story broke out. You know, he tried to keep it a secret, but Fox Noise was all over it. Super sleuthing, and impeccable journalism, Fox Noise and Rupert Murdoch getting that story out. Ohio men awarded $300,000 after they were thrown out of a council meeting and arrested. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Newsflash: we're supposed to have free speech here. We used to have this thing called free speech. I know a lot of folks nowadays don't believe in it. It still exists. It's scary, but you can't just fucking arrest people and throw them out of places because they said something you didn't like. Okay, so let's go to that, because now you got your pockets tapped, and that's how it needs to go from here on out. And I'm talking to me now again, like I always do, because I've been slacking. So focused on being a god of all media, I've neglected certain aspects of legal process because I need to learn it and sue these people. And so do you. So get on it. Okay. If you're not going to do the rest of it, I need you folks out there who are ambitious and want to like make a whole bunch of money and do it the right way, because we're going to tap these people's pockets every time they deprive folks of rights. It can be done.
Men who got arrested at a city council meeting settled their lawsuit against the city. The news broke this morning, the same day the city held their last city council meeting for the year.
WCPO 9 News reporter Jessica Hart talked with the men about the suit and went to that last council meeting to get reaction.
The two men didn't show up to the council meeting Thursday night. They did.
So they're now giving like different names for Rupert Murdoch, and I kind of like where you're going with that. Rupert Murdoch, because, you know, we pioneered the phrase looping here, of course, and Fox Noise is always looping, and it's run by Rupert Murdoch. So now he will be known as Rupert Murdoch from here on out, so we get a better nomenclature.
Tell me they will be back to council if they have something to say. They hope their case shows other local governments you can't silence the people. Two men who sued the city of Wilmington settled their lawsuit for nearly $300,000. This was the moment that led them to sue.
All right, Tony.
Dope.
What are you? Pushing your back one.
Tony
I'm
Thomas
just gonna
was
take your
arrested
rights
and
real
later
quick.
jailed
Real
during
quick.
an April Wilmington City Council meeting. A few minutes later,
I'm going to jail too, huh? We're going to sue the heck out of you guys.
Daryl Petrie was arrested and jailed too after they both criticized officials during public comment.
I knew they wanted to silence us, and I just didn't think they were going to go to that extreme.
The two filed a federal lawsuit against the city, its police chief, and the former council president. Their attorney, Matt Miller Novak, explains why.
The reality is we're quite confident they violated the law. We filed suit, and
That's the thing, right? But that's the problem. See, I filed suit in federal court, but they like threw it out immediately. They wouldn't even hear the matter because I'm not Mac Miller. What's his name? Mac Miller what?
No.
Is that the father of that rapper douche? Mac Miller? Mac Miller, what was his last name, Nellis?
Novick.
Right, Mac Miller Novick. I'm not Mac Miller Novick. I don't have a plaid corduroy suit and a fucking bow tie because I'm not a like corporate male. So they won't like hear the matter, right? I'd have to go get Mac Miller Novak in order to have my rights upheld or hear a grievance heard. Have a grievance heard, right? That's kind of the problem. So can some other Mac Miller Novaks out there? Can you get to it? Because Paulie Boy's got like a stack of cases. We're gonna get to some big money. Okay, you're gonna get a lot of bow ties out of this. I'm telling you. So I'm calling out to whoever's out there. Let's get with it.
we settled the case.
The lawsuit filed in August said the city of Wilmington violated their First Amendment rights. As part of the settlement, Thomas and Petrie dismissed their claims.
As you know, we're American citizens, and our rights were stripped from us so easily. And a room full of oath takers sat back and watched it.
Oh,
He
yeah.
said nothing.
Miller
Oh,
Novak
yeah.
said the city never admitted.
Oh, see? Man. that guy's being mean and he's unpatriotic because he realized all his buddies around him, all you military frauds and oath keepers, didn't do or say shit. He had the same experience old Paulie boy did when he realized all the truthers and rights and freedom folks wouldn't say or do shit and watch him get dragged off. Right, now you're getting it. It's like a one-on-one thing with you in the spirit. You got to rise to the occasion. You got to surrender the rest because your own friends and family may rebuke you and let you get dragged off and then say you're the fucking problem while they continue to create slavery and genocide. Fascinating. That guy needs to calm down. He's very angry.
At fault, but they don't care. He said the people can decide who was right and who was wrong. I asked the Wilmington City Council about this settlement. They told me no comment. In Wilmington, Jessica Hart, WCPO 9 News.
Right, the oath sleepers. Just like when I went to the Republicard events with the Trump tards, and all the oath sleepers were there. And they go, oh, and they look me up. Some of them knew me. It's interesting. Like I had this whole kind of sort of somewhat local hero kind of deal because I was on Colorado and they're like, oh, you're the guy. And then like I become an indirect sort of voice or leader because I do shit and they don't. And I'm like, I don't have anything to say other than if you recognize me for what I'm doing, you need to do it as well, or you're an oath sleeper, as the man says. I go, I didn't need to put on a flag today and a costume. I didn't need to join the military. I didn't need to do any of that to keep the oath to this land and the law of the land and the people and my obligations to God, if you want to call it that, and conscience. God and country, as they used to say. So it's kind of ironic when you show up to these events and you're the only oath keeper there, and the rest of folks have concealed carry permits and they got licenses and registrations and insurances and they vote and pay slave tax and they want to tell me about being a fucking oath keeper. And I laugh at them. And then people don't like me because I'm like real about it and I'm not going to bullshit your ego. And I don't care if like 1 or 5 of you can kick my ass. I'm going to speak it. It just has to be done, right? So go ahead, beat me up because you got a lot of these like tattooed, jacked guys who have training and whatever. I get it. You want to take it to that realm, you'll whoop on me, okay? And then I'll get up with a broken jaw and back, and I'll tell you you're still a fucking cowardly slave and you're being hypocritical. And now I have a broken back and jaw and can't even do anything that you won't do. So yeah, like what do you do with that as a being? Like as a regular person who just does this and then goes to these places, interacts with these folks, and then they look at you and you look at them and go, what do you do with that experience? If you can kind of imagine it, put yourself there. Folks who you think are better than you all your life, police, military, army folks who've been veterans, folks who have all types of medals and distinguished. What do you do with that when you're shaking hands with people who are running for governor? I got a guy on a governor, a senator, and he won't cop to statute, policy, and code as fascism, but he's shaking hands with you. And what do you do with that if you're me, right? Not that you have to answer my questions for me. I'm just kind of giving you a peek into you walk this walk in this way, and a whole bunch of shit shows up, and you don't really know quite how to process it or how to deal with it. Kind of makes you feel good and valuable and confident, and also kind of makes you feel alone in a way. So you wonder why I've gotten so egoic and narcissistic, like they say. Well, because I have so many of those firsthand experiences. And turns out it was only the folks who were like the least among folks who were willing to stand with me. Gangsters, supposed criminals, some ex-military folks that have been thrown out of everywhere and shit on, even though they went to war. They don't get thanked for their service once they turn on the corporation. They get shit on, right? So yeah, it's a mind fuck, right? It's a trip. This experience, this life, this simulation. I'm not down on it. I think it's amazing. I think it's great. But yeah, it will cause you to pause and reflect at times, to say the least, and to, I guess, search yourself for what it is you're doing this for who or for what, and what the result and the outcome is. Your thoughts, expert panel, on any of that? Your own thoughts, your own experiences?
Yeah, anytime dealing with the public, it gets a little crazy. I see just hordes of people not thinking. So similar and different places over the years.
I met several politicians when I was young, and I always found them to be very plastic, fake. Even in the look of them, they just have a
Well, that's
unreal feel to them.
that's what I was just seeing with the news anchors. I was gonna point it out at a couple points, but and then I forgot to. It's yeah, those news anchors specifically. Now, of course, I don't watch TV anymore, so maybe it's because of that, but it stuck out more. But yeah, I definitely noticed that.
It amazes me that anybody takes the word of these television prostitutes or whatever you call them. Why is it that people still want to give these people the benefit of the doubt at all? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, they just again, a lot of it is the status symbols, right? When you could even revere someone like me, but in the back of your mind, you go, well, like HMFICC, right? He says he did well in business. He's got whatever he's got. In their mind, they go, well, he's a different person than I am. He's not like me. So we can't walk the same way. They're not really prepared to go all the way. They just want to show up with the flags and the signs and complain and keep voting and keep serving it and keep playing into it and denying the information I bring forth. But then they'll revere me because they go, well, you're willing to do what the fuck we're not. The same way some of us at some point or in some way, even if we don't agree with the policy, we revere folks who are willing to go to war and die for whatever it is the mission is. Right. So it's the same idea. There's an unspoken bond and respect because I'm willing to die or go to a box. They're willing to die or go to a box. It's just why can't we unite on like God-given rights and freedoms instead of me over here and you over there? Because we know what side of history you're on and we know why you got paid and did well and we know who and what you serve. So do you want to walk with me and that thing and that force, or do you want to continue to stay on that side of history and serve that thing and then claim I'm not like you? I mean, if I wanted to get egoic and prideful and use God as a way to substantiate that, I'm better than you. So I don't even do that really. I go, you could just be doing better because I started doing better when I started to observe what doing better and being better really was. And it's not pretty. It's not comfortable. It's not all the time financially freeing and successful because you may have to sacrifice and deal with consequences and you may have to pay with your most valuable resources, your time, your energy, your attention. So, again, like this shit ain't for the faint of heart. It's not for folks who want to do it as a hobby. It's not a lukewarm presentation and presentment and state of consciousness. You're all in or you're all out. And trust me, there's times where, like I've been completely candid. I've thought about going to fill out the paperwork properly, getting the license and some of the other stuff, not paying for anything, but having that document on file the correct way where I'm not subject to the policy and code, but I can present it to avoid the constant detainment or the threat on my life. Because these folks will show, they will shoot you for like the man having a passport they don't agree with and not completely complying, acting, they say you're resisting because you don't completely comply. So you're gambling every time you're out traveling freely without any of this shit, and if I have to get that stuff without relinquishing the jurisdiction by filling it out properly and making the notation at the bottom and not signing it, they can't give me legal counsel. And if I didn't sign that, it's not contractually sound, right? So, I mean, again, I've played with that back and forth because I think it could be advantageous to my body and my walk in the rest of my life. But part of me, whether it's pride or ego or just the spirit, says you're kind of selling out. You're kind of giving them their way. You're kind of getting their instrument in order to avoid persecution and prosecution. So, I still have not quite centered on what I want to do with that going forward. Because again, what's true and what's right and what's been codified and agreed Supreme Court over and over is we have a right to use the roadway, uninfringed, untaxed, right? It's a right. We have a right to travel freely in the property. You want to claim that the property's been registered before? Well, then I have a right to rebut that. So ultimately, I may just have to sit with the fact that I'm going to keep getting arrested. I'm going to keep having to present this at court. And at some point, I'm going to have to sue these people to stop it happening in the future. Or I'm going to have to go and try to work with their documentation the right way to avoid the constant persecution and prosecution. Because after a certain point, you go, how much of this is faith and how much of this is me just playing with the system until they finally give me the result that I'm looking for? You know? Your thoughts on that, Mr. Nellis? Christos? How much do I fall from being a legend and a hero, D-list YouTuber celebrity? How much do I fall if I go and get a license without signing it and using my given family name, and I put it in trust and present it if necessary to avoid the prosecution and persecution?
I think you're navigating like we're all navigating. I don't see that that's a big problem.
I appreciate your fight against that. Like I've seen you.
No, that's the thing. I'm not fighting
and
against anything. They're fighting
I
against
know.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You-
I'm
but,
upholding what's on record over and over again in common sense. It's sound and
I
logical.
think what you're doing
ethical,
is
moral.
good. If it starts to cost you financially, where it's like ruining your life, then I would say stop.
Yeah, but I can't claim that. That's the thing. Far from it. I've done better
Yeah.
than ever as time goes
So-
on because
Well, then-
apparently the people have my back among other kind of energy and force here. So I can't sit
Carry
there
on,
and claim.
Carry on then.
Yeah, because ultimately I go, well, if I got to go to jail for 30, 60, 90 days, I don't really lose anything in the process. I mean,
Yeah.
do I not get to do my broadcast, which kind of bothers me? Yeah. But can I put the broadcast above what's true and what's right? No, then it becomes an undoing of the whole point, it would seem. So it's kind of an investment, right? If you got to go do jail time, that's the game you're in, and you're investing your time, energy, attention for the status, the position, and the understanding. It's a tough call, right? when you get down to the body, we're all human, we all have a body, we all experience fear, and none of us want to continue certain things and to move right into the face of it. But then you got to kind of go, well, you are a cosmic gambler. This is the game that you chose or chose you, and this is the ante up, right?
Right. I'm with you that way, I think. Like, I don't want any harm or anything bad to happen to you or anything like that. So, but I think you should continue. If you've had success and you've had failures, so why not continue?
All right, give me the final word. We're coming up on the third hour. I'm gonna get something to eat, and yeah, move on with the day.
Yeah, this was dope.
Wet stream.
Thanks for having me up. Nice talking to you guys. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Max. I look forward to having you back. I want to talk more remote viewing and all the rest of it. So don't be a stranger.
Yeah, my final words. I'll just repeat Genius commenting of Mr. Wobbly Boost. Growing fears of fear, growing from growing fears of war, are growing, according to unnamed experts from unnamed or unspecified places and unmentioned organizations. Genius comment, sir. I agree.
Yeah, if you can only learn to read. So when you get off here, I want you to go read more. So next time that you give the genius comment, you can actually read it. I want you to
That's
be
where
literate.
you look at the words and you internalize them, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's the comprehension too is a big one. So you maybe work on that too. I love you, Sean. I love you, brother. I don't know.
I
why
love you, brothers and
I always
sisters.
do that.
Yeah, fuck you, brother. I'm just kidding. I love you, brother. I don't even know why that happened. I love all of you.
Man, that guy's confused.
Well, thank you, and just keep on leading by example. And that's what I think important. Lead by example, and don't worry about results. Just lead by example. The results will continue to take care of themselves. So,
All right, Mr. Nellis, I appreciate you. I'm going to throw you out cordially, respectfully. OTW News, are you there, sir? Do you want to give a final word? All right, OTW News looks like out and about. He's back in the saddle, so we won't keep him. We won't distract him. All right, folks, resounding success. We had some good conversation. We got to a little bit of breaking slave news. We did a little bit of Andrew Tate, Elon, Alex Jones special, a little bit of philosophy, all the rest of the usual. You know, a lot of the times we cover the same information or experience from a different perspective. Part of expertise or excellence in life seems to be repetition. So I'm not necessarily down on that. All of life seems to be a loop within a loop. So we're all kind of looping in our own way. Hopefully or faithfully, it's a corkscrew effect, right? We're looping like this. That's what I want to believe, rather than this effect right here. So, all right. I don't know why Pineal Power just left and came back. We're done. Pineal Power. See you later. It's over. Let it go. Don't be the guy at the party who won't leave. I want to catch you downstairs early in the morning, jacking off, you know, eating out of the pantry. Just let it go, man. Party's over for the night. There's always tomorrow. As long as I don't die in my sleep, and let's be honest, I'm probably not going to ever be that lucky. We'll be back tomorrow. So somewhere between 12 to 2 MDT, as always, 7 days a week. We don't stop at this time. Some point in the future, I may decide to take a day here and there, but not today, not yesterday. So we move forward. Peace and blessings to all. Thank you to the folks who continue to contribute and support various forms of value. You are a blessing to I. Much appreciated. Very humbling as well. Keeps me inspired, motivated, focused. Keeps me accountable as well, or at least helps to, in a sense. I let it be that way, I guess is the best way to put it. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Sly Shine, much love. Jackie Fox, much love. Fire Drake, much love. I'm love bombing now. I've learned that other places it works. Tribe, much love. Unknown, much love. Young Money, much love. Okay, I'm done. Can't do too much of that. I start to get a little bit queasy. All right, folks, stand with Ukraine, Israel, pretty much anyone else you're told to. That's how this realm works. That's what they say. So we follow the experts, of course. And I'll be back tomorrow. You might see me somewhere else. I might pop up. You never know. If not, Mazel Tov.